MrBeast gives away islands, cars, houses, and enough cash to make your banking app close itself out of embarrassment. So naturally, there is one question. How rich is this man actually? The easy answer is billions. The confusing answer is that MrBeast has also claimed he has negative money and sometimes needs to borrow cash. That sounds like something a billionaire says immediately before asking you to cover lunch. But both statements can technically be true, because MrBeast's fortune is not sitting inside one enormous checking account. Most of it is the estimated value of the companies he owns. And company equity cannot buy McDonald's unless the cashier accepts private startup shares. Jimmy Donaldson did not begin with family money or a Hollywood production team. He has said his family struggled financially after the 2008 recession, and YouTube looked like a possible way to support himself and his mother. At 13, he created a channel called MrBeast 6000, which sounds less like a future billionaire and more like a vacuum cleaner that was recalled for overheating. He uploaded gaming videos, YouTube commentary, estimated creator earnings, and basically anything he thought might work. For years, almost nothing did. Imagine posting for 5 years while the algorithm responds with the emotional warmth of a parking meter. That was basically the business plan. Then, in 2017, Jimmy uploaded himself counting to 100,000. It took roughly 40 hours. The idea was stupid, exhausting, and almost impossible to ignore, which is basically the MrBeast formula in its earliest form. The video exploded. Jimmy finally understood that extreme effort, simple ideas, and ridiculous curiosity could attract enormous audiences. But instead of taking the money and buying a lifestyle, he put it into the next video. Then he put that video's money into an even bigger video. Most creators treat revenue like income. MrBeast treated it like ammunition. Jimmy began using sponsorship money for giveaways. $10,000 to strangers, money for delivery drivers, donations to streamers, and eventually cars, houses, and life-changing prizes. This created a strange machine. The more money he gave away, the more people watched. The more people watched, the more sponsors paid. And the more sponsors paid, the more money he could give away. It looked like generosity. It was generosity. But it was also an extremely effective content business. The charity and the algorithm had entered a very profitable situationship. Soon his productions stopped looking like YouTube videos and started looking like small national infrastructure projects. Sets became larger, prizes became larger, and the accounting department presumably stopped sleeping. Today, calling MrBeast a YouTuber is like calling Amazon a website. Technically accurate, wildly incomplete. His business empire now includes media production, feastables, merchandise, licensing, analytics software, television projects, and other ventures. YouTube built the audience. The businesses are what may build the billionaire fortune. His audience is so large that calling it a fan base feels disrespectfully small. It is closer to a medium-sized civilization waiting for the next thumbnail. But the most important business may be feastables. Chocolate has one useful quality that YouTube videos do not. People can buy it repeatedly without Jimmy rebuilding civilization inside a warehouse. A viral video might earn money once. A successful consumer product can sell every week in thousands of stores. That makes feastables potentially more valuable than another video involving explosions, helicopters, and 17 insurance waivers. This matters because MrBeast videos are brutally expensive. A video can receive hundreds of millions of views and still burn through millions on sets, staff, prizes, travel, editing, insurance, and whatever accounting category covers destroying a private jet. The media side can generate enormous attention, while the food side may generate healthier profit margins. Apparently, chocolate bars are better at staying on budget than 1,000 contestants. This is where the numbers become confusing. Creator earnings, company revenue, company profit, personal cash, and net worth are all different things. The internet usually throws them into one blender and calls it research. MrBeast may generate hundreds of millions through advertisements, sponsorships, licensing, products, and media deals. But company revenue is not the amount Jimmy personally takes home. Revenue is the total money coming in. Profit is what remains after expenses. Personal cash is what Jimmy can actually spend. And net worth is the estimated value of everything he owns minus what he owes. These numbers can all be huge and still tell completely different stories. It is possible to run a company worth billions while personally having less cash available than someone with a normal salary and a suspiciously responsible emergency fund. The billionaire estimate mostly comes from Beast Industries itself. If investors value the company at around $5 billion, Jimmy's ownership stake may theoretically be worth billions. Imagine the company as a giant $5 billion pie. If Jimmy owns slightly more than half, his slice could be valued above $2.5 billion. That is how people arrive at estimates around $2.6 billion. But it is still an estimate. Beast Industries is private, which means there is no public stock price telling us exactly what Jimmy's shares are worth every morning. The real value could change based on debt, taxes, investor rights, company performance, and how much a buyer would actually pay. A $5 billion valuation is not the same as somebody arriving with $5 billion and a reusable shopping bag. So it would be misleading to say MrBeast simply has $2.6 billion. He may control company equity estimated to be worth that much. There is an enormous difference. This brings us back to the strangest part. MrBeast has said he sometimes has negative personal money and needs to borrow cash because he reinvests almost everything. He may spend hundreds of millions every year producing content and expanding his businesses. That is enough money to produce a normal YouTube video and then accidentally purchase the city where it was filmed. He is equity rich and cash poor. The company may be worth billions, but selling part of it could reduce his ownership, weaken his control, create taxes, and make investors nervous. This is not the same kind of broke as somebody choosing between rent and groceries. It means his wealth is tied up in a company rather than sitting inside a personal account. Important distinction. Extremely different grocery experience. He can still access resources most people cannot. Banks lend to valuable founders. Investors provide capital. Businesses cover legitimate company expenses. So billionaire broke still comes with a very different customer service experience. He may not have billions sitting in cash, but owning a major piece of a multi-billion-dollar company gives him access, influence, and borrowing power most people will never have. Among creators, MrBeast is operating in a separate financial category. Most influencers earn from advertisements, sponsorships, and merchandise. Jimmy has built a private company around his audience. But compared with the world's richest billionaires, he is still far behind. A few $1 billion is extraordinary human wealth. It is also the amount certain technology founders lose when one product announcement has the wrong font. The more interesting comparison is age. MrBeast built his audience and business empire before turning 30. Many famous founders had not reached anything close to this scale at the same age. Does that mean he will become the richest person alive? Maybe. But predicting that responsibly would require knowing whether his brands can keep growing for decades. And YouTube barely knows what it will recommend next Thursday. Creator businesses can grow quickly because attention moves fast. They can also slow down quickly for the exact same reason. A viral audience and repeat customers are not always the same group. People may watch Jimmy destroy a train once. Chocolate requires them to return to the store next week. So how rich is MrBeast? The most honest answer is this. He likely controls equity worth billions, generates hundreds of millions through his empire, and has surprisingly little of that wealth sitting as personal cash. He is not a man with $2 billion inside a checking account. He is a founder whose ownership could be worth billions if the company maintains its value, and he eventually sells or monetizes part of his stake. His greatest financial asset is not a house, private jet, or chocolate factory. It is his ability to turn attention into businesses. Most creators monetize their audience. MrBeast uses his audience to manufacture entirely new companies. That is why his wealth has grown far beyond normal YouTube advertising. The risk is that the machine requires constant fuel, larger videos, larger businesses, larger teams, larger expenses. He has built a financial rocket that becomes dangerous the moment it stops accelerating. MrBeast may be one of the clearest examples of the difference between being wealthy and having cash. His bank balance may occasionally look ordinary. His ownership absolutely does not. So yes, MrBeast may be a billionaire on paper, but until Beast Industries goes public or somebody accepts company equity at the drive-thru, the Wealth Files guy may still have to cover the fries. Subscribe to Wealth Files for more funny, realistic breakdowns of money, business, investing, and how the world's biggest financial empires actually work. Because net worth tells you what somebody owns, it does not tell you who is paying for lunch.